Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you guys are all doing well today. My name is Francine and I'm here with my channel, The Hermetic Herald, for another celebrity tarot reading. I feel like this card is significant for some reason, as well as this card. We're going to be doing a celebrity tarot reading on someone I didn't expect to even have on my radar. This is going to be someone that was not recommended. This was something that I personally feel like is important to share, because as I was looking into and asking my spirit team, what should I even focus on? I like to focus in on whatever is currently happening in the media. I like to always keep tabs on information and insight that could be helpful to clarify for people in the future. So I was sitting there and I asked this song randomizer, what song do you want to play for me? And Charlie Puth came up and I was like, Charlie Puth recently got married. He recently just was going through a really great period of life, it seems. When you're deciding on getting married, it really depends. But I was just really excited to hear about that. So I don't know why this reading is needed in terms of what we're going to find out, but we're going to find out together, because I feel like there's an intuitive nudging for me to focus in on him and to do a kind of a basic reading. Okay, so we're going to touch base on a couple of things. We're going to touch base on the state of the relationship right now. We're going to touch on what is Charlie bringing to the relationship, and then also what his partner is. I'm going to have to add that into the video later. I like to have an unbiased approach, so you will notice that I will ask questions or not mention certain things, and that's just because I don't like looking into celebrities before I do readings. It just messes it up. Biases, having a bias towards someone affects the reading, so I don't do that. But I want to continue and just go into their potential together, what lessons they're learning, and then finally, what should they pay close attention to? Because we want to focus in on how we're growing and how we're learning. We don't want to pretend that we know it all. You know, there's always some aspect of growth and learning here in life. So I feel like these two at the end are going to be important. So we have the state of the relationship is these three. We have what is he bringing to the relationship? What is she bringing to the relationship? What is their potential together as partners? What lessons they're learning? And what should they pay close attention to? Bottom of the deck here. Just going to move this a little bit for you guys, okay? Bottom of the deck here is the Five of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Two of Wands. A lot of action, a lot of fire energy is coming through this reading. So with the last three cards, what I'm getting is the energy of two very opinionated people coming together. They're moving quite quickly, but there's some, I'm hearing reminiscing. They're reminiscing on something. They're looking at the future and what it has for them, but they are having this tendency to butt heads at times. If that affects the relationship deeply, we will find out, but so far it seems like this is their current energy. Let's keep going. What is the state of the relationship right now? We have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups to me as a reader indicates some sense of detachment. It also can denote that the person is not aware of something. They're kind of dejected, feeling kind of down. So there's a lower energy coming through. This is not an exciting card to have. It's usually about wanting more. There's something else that's coming in and they want more in the relationship. We also have here the Knight of Swords. So they may not be, what's interesting is that with these two cards, the Four of Cups and the Knight of Swords, I would say that they're not communicating quite as much, or they're having, there's emotionally a lack happening with regards to their communication. So they might not be expressing something that they're feeling. One of them might be feeling down and the other person is kind of just trying to communicate with them, but they're not having much success. There's something about feeling detached here with this energy. Three of Wands is the next card. So that's about moving and advancing forward. Moving forward and already taking the steps necessary, making plans, and now executing them, moving forward. Interesting energies. they're going to get out of this energy in the sense of this dejected, feeling detached, feeling like you're not very happy with the outcome or something really disappointed one of them. And they're trying to move quickly out of that energy and moving forward towards something good. So there's something disappointing that occurred, but let's keep going and we'll find out later. So what is Charlie bringing to the relationship? We have the King of Wands. He's bringing the energy of drive. He has a lot of drive. He has a lot of power in this dynamic here. I'm hearing severity. So there's sometimes a severity about him where he can be really powerful in his energy. It can be a bad thing in the shadowy attribute if he's not tempering it. I'm getting the Lovers just to clarify. I'm also feeling this card, the Four of Swords and a Seven of Pentacles. And one more actually, the Three of Swords, Page of Cups. So this is telling us a story here. So to clarify, his energy is the King of Wands. Let's hide that there. With the King of Wands energy being clarified by the Lovers, the Four of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles, he tends to retreat. He's a very powerful energy, but when it comes to this relationship and this dynamic, wow, I'm hearing something, and it's like I'm hearing grown cold, grown or gone sour. Whenever he feels like his mood is not right, and I feel like he's the one with the Four of Cups energy, when his mood isn't right, he tends to retreat from a situation, even though he's a very powerful energy, and that's how she can determine when he's not doing too well. It seems like he withdraws. So somehow, for some reason, that's coming through. That's important for us as the audience to note, is that he tends to, when he's in a very deep loving relationship or a deep connection with someone, when he feels at peace with them, he tends to take his time, and he tends to kind of like, he sorts through his emotions. Page of Cups usually is about like a very childlike energy. Something has wounded him. So I'm hearing something has wounded his ego. Something's wounded his ego recently. So when his ego feels wounded, he tends to move forward towards the Four of Swords energy of rescinding or walking away or stepping away and getting some much needed time to stabilize with the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. So they want us to know that about him. They want us to note that he's not just all like gung-ho about something. He tends to take the time needed to walk away. Bottom of the deck is the Chariot, the Two of Cups, and the Hierophant. This relationship feels like it was like a long-standing relationship. I just want to say that. And it finally took on this next stage in marriage. But I can tell you from the beginning, they took their time. It feels like that. They really had a connection though. But yeah, relationship hierarchy is coming through. This understanding of hierarchy. And he likes to be in control in some way. And when he feels like he's not, it doesn't feel good for him. The Eight of Cups is here. Yeah, moving into more emotional fulfillment. He moves towards his childlike energy when he feels like he's hurt. When he feels wounded, he tends to recluse and to walk away for a little bit. So what is her energy like? King of Swords, very clear. So I feel like he's more of a hot-blooded energy in that he tends to be more so in tune with his emotions more than anything, and she seems more to be more of a clear person. Two kings here. Very clear, very driven, very mentally acute, mentally agile. Yeah, Hermit came out. I don't know if she's a Virgo, but I'm getting the energy of her just being a very, very good with her communication, very communicative with him. I think of Mercury energy or Gemini, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius energy, as well as Virgo coming through. We also have the Page of Pentacles focusing. She's very work-oriented. She's focused on her craft. And we have the Hanged Man. Sometimes she tends to take a little long figuring out what she wants to do. It takes some time for her to decide, but when she does, she goes for it. Or at least she likes to make sure before she takes part in something, okay? So the World is here. So if anything, she might have been the person to slow them down before they got into this relationship or before they got into a marriage. It seems as though he felt the emotions and he wanted to go faster, but she's teaching him how to slow down a bit. We're getting Queen of Cups energy. Yeah, she has a lot of love in this relationship. I'm hearing, is taking it to the next level. They're looking towards the future. I don't know why I heard Cain. That's really interesting. And we have a Sun. So she's helping him through some, like, he's having some emotional dysregulation that he needs to go through with regards to his money for some reason. And Spirit wants to highlight that. But she's helping him get out of his head. So that's really important. She brings a lot of communication, a lot of clarity to the situation. Now let's look into what is their potential together as partners. We have the Ten of Cups. Wow, their potential is family. Their potential is homecoming. It's like this sense of harmony between them. They have a very harmonious relationship and dynamic. I think I'm hearing complementary. So it seems as though they're complementary to each other. They're both kings, both in their power. They both come with a set of skill sets. She's very mentally acute, very aware of her inner light, of her spirit, and I feel like he comes with a lot of love, a lot of drive towards her as well. Also learning how to step away when he feels down or feels hurt. But let's look into what lessons they're learning. What lessons are they learning? Two of Pentacles, finding balance. Yeah, they're juggling. They're finding balance with each other. I feel like this is the time where they're starting to pursue emotional regulation. I just keep hearing emotional regulation between these people. It seems like they're learning how to, after the honeymoon phase ends, of feeling through this, and also of being emotionally mature throughout this marriage, throughout this relationship. I'm also getting this card here, Queen of Cups. Yeah, Queen of Cups and the Two of Wands. She's looking towards the future specifically with regards to this relationship, and they're starting to reach the end of a cycle here. They're starting to reach the end of the cycle with the Devil, with the Death card coming through. That means that there's something that they're going to be closing to open another door. Okay, let's keep going. What should they pay close attention to is fighting, conflict. When she speaks her mind, I feel like sometimes he might feel like defensive, and she responds, she tends to be more cerebral, more straightforward, more like, why are you offended? I'm just saying this. And he's more like in his emotions. I'm not sure what his sign is or what signs are highly aspected for him, but he has a very combatant energy. And between them, they need to be careful about trying to win arguments, trying to win disagreements. Okay, what is the trajectory of this relationship so far? What is the outcome is what I want to know. What is the most likely outcome on this current trajectory, Spirit? With regards to this relationship, what is their most likely outcome and trajectory? So the Six of Pentacles is here. Is there anything else, Spirit? I feel this card, the Ace of Swords. Look at that, guys. What is the outcome? The Strength card. They're going to keep it going. They want stability. They're going to be focused on stability. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Yeah, they're going to keep progressing through this relationship. They're looking at the bounty of what they have in this relationship as well. We want that for any relationship, guys. So there's like this energy of them coming into balance, of karmic retribution, give and take, equal give and take, of clarity, continually getting to know each other. Like they're going to deepen their understanding of knowing each other. Sometimes some relationships, some marriages, they end up souring and the person ends up feeling like they're strangers with the other party. I feel like they're going to be more clear about who they are, learning more about themselves in the process. And then also strength. That's about like self-control, learning more about their spirit, their spiritual development. Fixed signs also are very good with stability with regards to like staying focused on something or not listening to people that might try to tell them otherwise. Very stubborn. I feel like that's coming through. I think they're going to really put in all of their will into making this balance and continuing to make this balance and focused on their relationship. I feel like these two cards are for them. So that's 4 in total. Okay. Bottom of the deck is round and round, as well as go the distance. Yeah, and here and now. They're trying to be present and also trying to go the distance here. with this relationship. They go back and forth sometimes about this relationship. I feel like in the beginning, before they got married, they actually were going back round and round long term. This relationship, I feel like, was long term. And I feel like they had some like moments where they had to take some time away. And I feel like they've gone through some struggles. Yeah, wow. But they had such love for each other that it kept going. I'm seeing the Queen of Wands, which is the pair to the King of Wands. I feel like they always pursued independence, pursued empowerment, pursued friendship first. And I think that's what brought this relationship to where it is today. Beautiful. So what messages do we have? We have flexible. They're learning how to be flexible. That's the Two of Pentacles energy. It feels like very much the same energy here. They're learning how to be flexible with this relationship and to allow themselves to bend. Now, with King of Wands energy coming through, which is like Leo, Aries, Sag energy, it's going to be more work for him on his end to be flexible with this relationship. I'm hearing this arrangement. He has to not get in his head and go with his heart more. I feel like he gets confused sometimes when they have conversations. I feel like she's very acute, and I feel like sometimes he just wants to get out of the argument and into calmer waters quickly. But I think he needs to allow himself to sink deeper into those waters to understand each other. And this is something that's going to be long term for them. They're going to have so many different lessons through this relationship, but they look and appear to be successful so far. Really good. We have loyal heart. Yeah, that's that tenacity, loyal energy that I was getting with the Strength card. I just feel like they're very loyal to each other. They have a friendship. They have a background with each other. It's not like something that happened quickly and was not grounded on anything. It definitely was grounded on friendship. We have exchanging gifts. They're a gift to each other. And we have time to go. Now with the time to go card, I want to also look at where they're going. Why is the time to go card here, Spirit? Why is it the time to go card here? Let's see. We have one card, fork in the road. They need to always, they're going to need to make a decision at some point. And it's going to be, do I stay or do I go? Because they have this deep knowing at the bottom of the deck that they need to always recalibrate in order to work well together. This is why the Two of Pentacles was here earlier. I feel like his fiery energy is sometimes what affects the relationship, and that he sometimes gets a little too, like, I'm hearing trigger happy with regards to feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't right. Maybe this isn't the right thing to do. He has to constantly like reorient himself and see beyond what he's seeing now, like seeing beyond the issue that is at hand when they have arguments. I'm seeing here, truth be told, time for a nap. It's what I was saying earlier about him needing to take a nap, taking time away from the situation and to look at it clearly. He needs to always kind of address issues, circumstances between them, with this energy of not always going for what's familiar or what's easy, but learning some big lessons here. We also have poised. Come to the edge and poised. He's going to be put to the edge, and sometimes he's going to be challenged more so than she is. Okay, and I'm also feeling this card. We have Treasure Island. It's going to be very helpful to him if he sticks it out, and it's not sticking it out like forcing it to happen, but more so learning the lessons and not having to learn them another way through another relationship. He can learn them with her. They're friends, they're comrades. There's something here about like them needing to just learn some really tough lessons, really important lessons. Who is this for, Spirit? Puth. That's his light attribute. What is his wife's attribute? I really do apologize for not knowing her name. I just want to make sure that I get this reading out, but that I also am flowing, and I don't want to take too much time on that. Okay. So what is his wife, Charlie Puth's wife? Yeah, companion, mentor, judge. And these three came out. Should I take these, Spirit? All right, these are secondary characteristics for her light attribute. What is the karmic attribute for Charlie, Spirit? Okay. One there. What is the karmic attribute for her, for his wife. What is the karmic attribute for his wife here? She's just getting more, because I feel like I always can move on. Like as soon as I got one card, I was like, okay, move on. So Spirit's saying that Charlie Puth is a dilettante, delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. He's really good, very multi-talented individual. They want to highlight that within the dynamic here. For her, we have Judge, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power, air energy here. So she has the King of Swords and the Judge card. So she is very mentally acute, very interested in balance. She is not about sinking into some like instability is what I'm hearing. We also have Companion as well. That's loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness coming through. Very unselfish, very sweet energy, Leo-like energy. And when I say Leo energy, I mean more so the tenacity, more so the loyalty. Loyalty here. Mentor is the other one we have, which is passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. It feels like she's a mentor to him. I feel like he learns a lot from her. Now let's look into these three secondary ones. We have Child Eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Very young energy, very childlike energy. I think that's what he likes about her. I'm hearing twinkling eyes, like he sees a twinkle in her eyes and he really loves that about her. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. We also have Child Orphan, so she has another child archetype here. So independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. She had some abandonment in her past with regards to her parents or with regards to family. She's grown up with either one parent, or it's like about feeling like she had to grow up so fast, or feeling like she had to go it alone. She might have been an only child. For some reason, I'm just getting information about her past, like her childhood, feeling alone, feeling like she wasn't really understood, but having such a young and youthful energy about her. I feel like someone tried to dim her light at some point when she was younger, and she rose up and she said, no, I'm not gonna settle. I'm gonna survive at any means necessary. Something beautiful about that is within her character that they want me to tell you guys. We also have Bully. Yeah, she might have been the on the receiving end of bullying, but you know what, this tells me that she is very strong, because it says highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. She confronts her fears. She's confronted people that have tried to bully her, and she's not about it. She's not into that. I also am seeing here that her karmic archetype, though, is exaggerated belief that you're the only means through which a cause can succeed. So she has a very controlling energy at times. I feel like she does take care of like scheduling and stuff. If they did have like an agreement together, like, hey, I work on this, you work on that. I feel like Charlie would work on the creative energy or creative side of things, of making things a little bit more flexible. And I feel like she's more so rigid. I feel like she likes to take over. And I'm feeling this card really strongly. Let's see what it is. These two, we have the Ace of Cups and we have the Eight of Swords. So I feel like she sometimes has to deal with scheduling and not getting in her head. Okay, that's coming through. She needs to not get in her head. Yeah. Sometimes she thinks things are kind of obscure at times, but she has a lot of intelligence. She's very wise. It's just that she sees so many opportunities and so many paths to take that she needs to take a seat and just relax a little bit more. We have Vampire. So she tends to deplete others for her psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency. She needs to be careful of being codependent, but also of complaining about things. I feel like he gets in his head with her, and if they're not tempering each, kind of controlling their energies, I feel like she can get a little, not to be mean, but a little neurotic. She needs to be careful not to get in her head too much, or to drain people with her questions. I feel like she has a lot of questions, and sometimes that can be like, oh my gosh, just feel through it. So he might go through moments like that where he's like, oh my gosh, just make a decision. So that's coming through. I wonder if she's a Libra or has it highly aspected. Either way, that's what's coming through. We also have God coming through. Despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. She really sees herself as like the She sees herself as a very powerful energy in this dynamic. She sees herself as the head in a way, like the person, the mastermind behind the relationship in some way that's coming through. We have damsel for him, for Charlie. It's waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. So he can kind of get into his into like the old fashioned rhetoric of like love and of feeling like he has to be a damsel in distress. I feel like sometimes he gets really caught up in the feeling of love, of the feeling of wanting someone or wanting others to need you, wanting to need others. So he has to be very careful about romantic delusions here. I feel like she's not as delusional in the sense of like romance. I feel like she's more so mentally acute. Yeah, and I'm getting the Ten of Swords. So it could have been like, it really weighs him down, or it could have been a disappointment when he saw that she's not as romantic as he is in a sense. She's more so realistic. I'm getting that. Yeah, she's more so steady, realistic, but she gets in her head with regards to illusions. But yeah, it seems like he feels a little bit more like romantic in comparison, and more so like kind of believes in some fairy tales, okay, and that's coming up in his mind, or it comes up every now and then. Yeah, beautiful. So let's look at any healing energies. Are there any healing messages for these two, for Charlie? Okay, we have new day. This is a new experience for him, a whole new experience. We have struggle. Yeah, I feel like he sometimes has a difficulty in just, he feels like there's pushback, like he has to kind of learn something very quickly. He's learning a lot of things quickly with her. We have it's all good though. He has to be okay with that, okay with the tides changing, about, you know, it being not all about the honeymoon phase or it being lovey-dovey all the time, but that it's about hard work too. He's learning that. We have for her retreat, taking time away, settling into her own perception of home for herself with him. Okay, we have ascension 24. So she's ascending, she's growing in her abilities. I feel like she has like a spiritual energy about her, and I feel like she's teaching him a lot. I feel like the situations that she experiences with him are teaching her things too, because I'm seeing omen and death. So she's seeing a lot of signs and synchronicities, and I feel like she's not quite as balanced as Charlie is. I think she's learning how to be more fixed or more balanced. And burden came out, as well as new beginnings. So she's learning some big lessons with regards to a whole new world, because I'm getting discernment. She's discerning like what's meant for her in regards to, we had a fight about this the other day. What am I learning? Do I always have to operate in one part of my energy, in masculine energy, or can I kind of go between the two? How can I be romantic with Charlie and also still focus in on the difficulties and of getting through them together and communicating that? They're very complementary in the sense that they're learning things from each other all the time. Okay, so that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this helps you gain a deeper perspective of celebrities and knowing that they're human too, that they have a situation on their hands that many of us encounter. Please note that this is just to assist in their healing process and also to assist in understanding them. So I hope this has helped you. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Liking helps this get into the algorithm and helps people see this video. And also subscribe for more. I do these very often, and I hope that it helps in any way for you guys. Personal readings are also going to be available, as well as exclusive content. So check out the description box below for how you can book a reading. I do have some spots left open for September before it ends, and then I also have some content I'm putting out for Buy Me a Coffee soon. So without further ado, you take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.